Welcome to the FAST Podcast, your go-to source for financial advisor strategy talks. Hosted by Laura Galloway, Senior Vice President of Channel Management at White Glove. Tune in as we uncover valuable insights from industry experts, offering you actionable tips to elevate your business.
Hey guys, thanks for coming back to the FAST Podcast. I've got another great interview for you today with one of my dear friends, Tim White of wealth.com. And before I bring Tim in, I want to tell you just a little bit about who you're listening to today. So let me give you background. Tim is the co-founder and chief partnership officer at wealth.com. He is a very avid hiker and very avid health nut and fitness nut. I love that about him. We talk about this kind of stuff. He's a highly accomplished sales and business development fintech executive with a strong track record of managing global partnerships and cultivating strategic relationships. Tim, you've done this thing a few times with Email Age and some other fun startups that you've helped out with. You've got an amazing team that you've worked with. You've got some great successes under your belt. And I'm really excited that you're here to talk about this with us. One of the things I want you guys to know too is wealth.com is a resource partner for White Glove. And we are doing some really fun things together. Maybe we'll get to talk about that in the podcast a little bit. But I want to just welcome you here and have you join us and share a little bit of your time with us here on the FAST Podcast. So Tim, thanks for being a part of us today.
Laura, thank you so much. Really happy to be on the podcast. I've been looking forward to it. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man. Yeah, here we are jumping in.
Let's go.
I can't believe it was just a few weeks ago that we were together in Las Vegas. That seems like almost an eternity at the Market Council Summit.
Oh my gosh, I know it does, doesn't it? It was such a great event, and it was amazing hanging out with you, obviously spending time with partners, industry players. It's a great event to close out the year.
And spending time with you too at the Sphere.
Oh, yeah. Spending time with Bono. A group of us. I think quite a few people from the event headed over to the Sphere and saw you two play. It was awesome.
Yeah.
A ton of fun, and we danced, we sang. It was a great way to close out the event. Can't ask, I mean, how many events have you two as the closing act? I got to hand it to Brian Hamburger for making it all happen.
Well, I heard that it was the Tim White concert and that Bono was a featured guest, but
there is rumors. Yeah, I definitely karaoke'd a little bit too much, but we had a great time. It was a lot of laughs.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. I certainly enjoy being there with you guys. Every single time we've been at a conference together, you guys bring so many people, such a great team, so much energy. And I love it because, that I think that's like, I know it's an intentional part of your brand, but it speaks volumes to the kind of company you guys have created. And it speaks a lot to what you're doing in the industry with financial planning and estate planning. And so I kind of just want to talk about that a little bit today and just, kind of think about some of the stuff that I've been learning from you guys. And what has been exciting for us at White Glove is, we work with financial advisors. And I was, initially when I first started back in 2018, I was looking for some new verticals, trying to bring in some different groups that we could sell workshops to. And I tried throwing spaghetti at the wall. Some things stuck, some didn't. I made a lot of mistakes. One of the things that did fit, though, was working with estate planning attorneys. We thought, we can bring these guys in. They're adjacent to financial planners. This will work, right? And so we did, and we started doing that. And then we kind of just, COVID hit and things got quiet for a bit. But then one of our co-founders who you've met, Dean Thurman, he's still practicing as a financial planner at InvestWise. And he got all excited. He's like, wait a minute, let me just think about this. Why have we as financial planners given over estate planning to the attorneys? Because really, the estate planning attorneys, they execute the docs at the end. They're responsible for making everything legal. But the strategy behind estate planning is something so important to financial planners that we need to do. So he got all excited. He started doing estate planning workshops himself, which I thought was cool. And he started seeing great success. And when I met you and started telling him about you, I got so excited. I'm like, listen, we've got this amazing opportunity where there's this platform, wealth.com. There's this company that's partnering with financial advisors, selling a solution directly to them to make it so easy for them to bring estate planning as a service into their practice. And so my question for you, Tim, is just what happened when you've done these other companies, you've worked with some of these people before, but you saw an opportunity and you brought out this platform, wealth.com. So if you can just take a minute and just explain to our listeners today what Wealth is doing, what problem is Wealth solving for the industry?
Well, absolutely. I mean, really fortunate. Just to rewind a little bit, to fast forward, but and I say we, but myself, our CEO Rafael Laurel, our executive chairman Ray Carvalho, we work together. We have a strong relationship, friendship. We've known each other for, I think, now rounding out 9 years.
That's awesome.
The last venture was an absolute blast. It was so much fun. It was a success. We sold really a technology that was designed with machine learning and AI and all the buzzwords today into large financial institutions. And when we sold that company to LexisNexis for $500 million, went through the liquidity event, life changed for everyone. Everyone within that organization, impacted my life, impacted their lives. And it also converged right at the same time with COVID. And so at that time, we looked at what was available as far as estate planning. Obviously, you have traditional estate planning, go see an attorney, but what was available from some of the different digital products. And we realized there's a lot of opportunity for disruption using technology that really gives an individual, a household, full visibility that could also lean on, when appropriate, machine learning and AI. And we came up with this vision document for wealth.com. And that vision and document has not been really, we haven't deviated from that. The one thing is our go-to-market strategy, which we realized very early on, the big influencers for estate planning was a family, and then, or it would be your financial advisor. And so we built out an incredible team led by Danny, came in as a co-founder. So Danny Lorfink, our chief product officer. And so we brought in really advisors to build a solution for advisors, by advisors, solving those problem statements. And so, we've never been, I think, distracted or by the temptation of going into different verticals or direct to consumer.
Right. Because other companies are doing that, and that, I can see the play there, but you guys are exclusively solving problems for the financial advisors who want to serve their clients.
And honestly, Laura, it is all about focus. It's all about focus. Marketing, it's our business development teams, but it's also our engineering teams, which, to have that focus, to be able to sit there, and whether it's leaning on our advisory council, our strategic advisors, our clients, our partners, we're taking that direct feedback and we're going in, and whether we're thinking, oh, we need to add this to our roadmap, or can we change this within the advisory portal to make it that much better for that advisor experience? Or do we need to think about changes we need to make for that downstream to the client experience? And so I think that's what's really allowed us to really carve out something that's unique here at wealth.com, and how we're serving the advisor community is just that pure dedication. We live it and breathe it every day.
Well, you can't be all things to all people. And certainly as a startup, you've got to be very focused on your ideal client. And I think that makes a ton of sense. But, you're saying with your go-to-market strategy being focused on the financial advisor, what roadblocks are you hitting? Because, not every financial advisor does estate planning. Not all of them agree to it. And I can tell you, when the light bulb went off for us at White Glove, that we need to get financial advisors doing estate planning workshops, because frankly, it's a blue ocean for us. There are areas where we have advisors doing Social Security or taxes and retirement workshops that are just saturated. I mean, they're very hungry, they're growth minded, and they're dominating an area. And we have other advisors, they can't get in there. And we say, listen, if you do an estate planning workshop, we can get you booked in 5 weeks, ready to go. We can get you there every week. Estate planning, why would I do estate planning? So we have some convincing and converting to do when it comes to estate planning. I'm curious how that plays out for you guys. How are you finding that conversation going with the financial advisors you're working with? And maybe who is that perfect target for you guys?
Well, I think one thing, the firms that are investing in tech, you're seeing it in the numbers. They're the ones that are being the most successful, right? Also, the firms that are investing in tech to attract the best of the best advisors as they build out their businesses, like they are being the most successful. And so I think that's one component, is thinking about technology, thinking about the advisor tech stack today, but also that question about estate planning. Look at the traditional, I'm going to refer out to, my trusted T&E attorney that I've known for years. That may have worked, but COVID's changed a lot of this. I mean, we're seeing that clients now are moving state to state, and to have that type of coverage, to be able to vet out that attorney network, I mean, that's just rife with challenges. So I do think, with anything, especially when you're leaning on technology, there's early adopters, and then there's latecomers, the people that are a little bit more apprehensive. I think it's going to be a very interesting, next several years, because I think the timing is now, especially for a company like ours, because, with
you're having a moment right now.
It is the moment right now.
Yeah.
It absolutely is the moment. And, I feel really blessed because we have an incredible team that's passionate, working to this, working every day to build out the technology. But one thing that I'm most proud about is our very vocal partner base. And when I say partner, is the advisors and the firms that we're working with. They're telling the story of wealth.com, whether they're at events, whether they're on LinkedIn. And I think that's been really amazing for us, but just amazing for the space as a whole.
Yeah. And we've got some mutual clients that are singing those praises too. They're loving getting, they're getting the leads that we generate from the workshops, but they're saying that wealth.com, they're using that as their call to action, saying, sit down to a personal discovery session with me.
Yes.
Here's what we're going to go over. We're going to review your estate plan just like that. Maybe give you some, quick pointers. If you decide we want to work together more, here's what we can do. And then you've got an amazing platform where they can gather everything. They can review it, make it simple. And also, they don't have to be attorneys, right? Also, they don't have to
be attorneys.
They don't have to read billions of pages of legalese, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They don't have to be attorneys. I mean, since the inception of wealth.com, we're always thinking about the advisor and the firms, and even how we thought about designing the product and protecting the advisor even from unauthorized practice.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I'm sure that's a concern for people. They're like, wait a minute, you're cutting out the attorney? How is this possible?
Well, we are and we're not, because there's a couple things. One, the technology is, do it yourself. It's extremely intuitive. Clients with low skill set when it comes to technology can go and create those foundational documents on the platform with ease. There's embedded Q&A. We have layers and layers and layers of support. But in addition to that, we have the ability to consult an attorney. And so day one, when an advisor comes to wealth.com or a firm signs up with wealth.com, they have access to our attorney network that's across all 50 states plus DC. So if anyone wants to talk to a barred attorney in their state to ask a question, they can. We facilitate that. And so it really, it's I think achieving all that. I think back to the point that you made too, is that, through technology, the old traditional way of referring it out to an attorney, oftentimes that referral goes into a black hole. It's not reciprocated. They don't get it back. And then they're completely blindsided. They don't know what's going on in that plan. And that's where wealth.com steps in, because within the advisor portal, they get full access, whether it's the visualization reports, which they can have those thoughtful reviews with the client, but also they get key insights. And those key insights are available at a click of their finger, whether, there's changes within the plan. And that's all surfaced as well with all the major CRMs. So they can have that access to that data, whether they're in Wealthbox or Redtail or Salesforce. And so really allowing the advisor to truly quarterback that relationship.
Amazing. Yeah, totally amazing. And taking that heavy lifting off of the advisor, if you're, I can imagine for some of the advisors we're talking to, they think I'm not an attorney. I don't have an attorney in my office, so I can't do estate planning. I can't add that. That's too hard. Well, you're saying, yeah, you can. The technology is going to actually streamline a whole lot of very repeatable, very standardized things. but you guys have attorneys that are in your network, everybody working together to make sure all of this stuff is legal, and that the financial advisor is kind of doing education and strategy, but the documents are truly still executed by an attorney, right?
Well, on the platform itself, they could create all the foundational documents, and our documents are on 100% state-specific documents. So a California document's not going to live and breathe and speak the same as a document that's in Florida. But, again, within the attorney network layer that we have, if anyone wants to, after completion of the documents or any step within the process, want to talk to our attorneys, they absolutely can, which I think gives everyone a peace of mind in the platform. But you'll be surprised how intuitive the solution is. On average, Laura, it takes 37 minutes to create those foundational revocable trust, those documents within wealth.com. 37 minutes.
Amazing. And the value of that to a family, protecting them from probate, protecting their family from having arguments, protecting their privacy, right? Like I think there's a huge moment right now where there's an opportunity for people who maybe never really thought of estate, but it sounds like something it's really hard. It's for old people. It's for uber wealthy. It's all this stuff. But actually, there's so much value for just using it as part of family planning and legacy planning and life planning. And again, kind of going back to that moment we were talking about, again, maybe because of COVID, maybe whatever, maybe it's just a time with the, generational wealth transfer that's happening. There's a big shift where people want more from their financial advisors than just beating the market. They want more than just a financial plan. And I'd love you just to, maybe leave us with a few words about how using estate planning, using wealth.com in your financial planning company, in your firm, how can that make a difference for the future generations?
Oh, I think we look at it, that financial planning and estate planning really is two sides of the same coin, right? Yeah. I think, and you'll see it in the data too. And I believe there was a survey, how many clients, and it's, that are expecting this, that are not getting it. And the data's there.
Huge number.
As you point out, Laura, the expectations that type of support is there. It's being underserved. And I think that firms that are leaning into this, I think they're seeing the benefits, whether it's attracting new clients, it's retaining clients, but also it's, how they can actually get deeper within that relationship, right? Those key insights and truly quarterbacking it. And even with our technology today, we have firms that are saying, look we got Gen 1 taken care of, wealth.com, but how do we impact their children's lives, and how do we start to build a relationship with them? And it isn't about the uber wealthy. I think estate planning, everyone thinks that, we're going to be there and, we got thoroughbred horses and I'm driving a Maserati or a McLaren, and that's the person who needs to think about estate planning. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. But even if you think about a young family, that's maybe sending a child off to school, having them set up that child with a healthcare directive, a power of attorney, a simple will, there's value there. And so I think there's so many awesome ways that our firms and our partners are looking at leveraging wealth to retain and build. It's pretty exciting stuff. And then I'll also say there is firms that we're working with that are trying to build the best of class, advisors, right? And recruit the best in class advisors. And one struggle firms have is that, people are leaving because they don't have access to technology. And so there is some really exciting PR that's going to be hitting the airwaves soon of firms and movers and shakers within the industry that are really looking at wealth in a variety of different ways. And one way is just to attract talent, which is really, really exciting for us that we can be a part of that story too.
That's right. Continuing to innovate, I'm sure, is not going to be a challenge for you guys. That's just kind of the way you roll. So I'm excited to see what comes. Well, cool. I think you've made a great case, and, you're helping us at White Glove because we really, like I said, we're all in for estate planning. We see so much value for our financial advisors to really enrich their firm, but really enrich the practice that they have of impacting the legacy of the people that they serve, of the families they serve. We see so much value in them doing that through estate planning, and a tool, a platform, the technology that you guys provide really makes it a no-brainer. It takes away some of that heavy lift and gives people an opportunity to talk about stuff that really matters with their family and their legacy. So thank you for being that partner of ours. I'm excited for things to come in the future. I don't want to let you go, though. I would love to hear you share what I ask everybody at the end of these things. I'd love to hear what you share is your definition of success.
Wow, my definition of success, I have to say, you live it every day, right? Every day that you can go to bed at night, put your head on the pillow and say, what have I accomplished? What have I done? And I look at it really in 3 pillars in my life. 1, in my family is most important. 2 is what I'm passionate about. And part of that passion, obviously, is what we're doing here at wealth.com. And then what am I doing as well for my health? And I think once you round those 3 pillars out, and then one day you can touch both, that's a successful day. So I try to achieve success in small doses, right? Yeah. And enjoy the journey. And that's one thing I reflect about the previous venture. Even when we exited and we sold the company LexisNexis, I just thought about it, and I just was thinking, look, the event needs to be as enriching as the experience. And so it's about the relationships and friendships through that experience, which is most important. And what we're building here at wealth.com, I got to tell you, it's something special. And I'm really, really, really blessed to work with the talented team. They're across all domains. It's been absolutely just such a fun ride.
You guys are all great. And I can say that having every single time we go to a conference, you bring like 20 people from wealth.com. You have the most people ever by far. And it's like nice. It's a great thing to see you guys out in force. And I've had the fortune of meeting so many of them. And yeah, you are surrounded by a really good team.
And guess what? Everybody loves you within our company. You made such a profound impact. We feel that really we have a partnership in place, but you really are an extension of the wealth.com team, Laura.
Thank you.
There's just your energy is contagious, and I'm really excited about this partnership. I think we can do some really special things for the advisor community and touch a lot of lives. So
more
game
to come
on.
soon.
What's that?
More to come soon. Yeah.
More to come soon. Yeah. Can't reveal everything.
Yeah. Right. Well, hey, Tim, thank you so much for being my guest today and for sharing your energy and your vision and all that you're up to in the world for financial planners and the families they serve. It is a pleasure. I am looking forward to getting to hang out with you again at the next fun event. So
I can't wait. T3?
Yeah.
That's where we met. We'll see. Next conference. We met at T3 in Tampa last year. But I'm sure we're going to have many, many conferences together this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, start of something good. So there will be many more to come. So thanks so much.
We got to get you to Future Proof.
Yeah, that is a given. I'm absolutely coming to Future Proof. Can't believe I missed that last year.
Future Proof is a fantastic event. So anyone,
are you going to sing karaoke again? Are you going to be like the guy on the stage again, like the vocal act?
We'll see.
Okay.
May have Bono come up on stage this time with me. We'll see.
Yeah. Featured guest. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, hey, thank you so much, Tim. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Fast Podcast with Laura Galloway. Questions or comments about the show? We'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email at info@whiteglove.com. Also, be sure to check out the show notes to find any resources we may have mentioned. As always, don't forget to hit that follow button so you'll never miss an episode. And once again, thank you for joining us on the Fast Podcast.